Hello my beautiful butterflies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, it is lovely to see you today. I hope you're doing well. In today's video we're going to be talking about flares with depression. So I think in the past you've heard me talk about flares of my chronic illnesses, how to deal with flares, things like that. But I haven't really but I've never really spoken about depression flares. Depression rarely is just one line, it's usually peaks and troughs. It could be a period of days, a period of months, maybe even years where it's good and your mood is up and on the normal scale, or it could be that it suddenly dips, and this is quite normal. At the moment I'm in a dip. So what is depression? Depression is a state of low mood and aversion to activity. It can affect a person's thoughts or behaviour. That comes from Wikipedia, and the NHS website says that clinical depression lasts months or years, not days. So we're talking about clinical depression here. Somebody can have people can have a depressive moment or a period of time, say when they're grieving or they've lost their job or they're moving house. Something will trigger a depressive period in their lives. But clinical depression is something that doesn't always have a trigger. It can sometimes, but it doesn't always have a trigger, and it stays for months or years of your life. So for me, depression started when I was in probably about 14 years of age. Our next door neighbour died suddenly in the middle of the night, and the trauma of going through that triggered depression, and I haven't felt the same since that time. When I was in my teens and 20s, I turned a lot to alcohol to cope with depression and to try and seem happy. You know, if you're going out somewhere, oh, let's have a few drinks, and it started becoming something, oh, I'm on my own, I'm feeling a bit down, why don't we have a drink, which is never good. Thankfully I realised what was happening, and now I only drink maybe 1 or 2 alcoholic drinks when I go out. I don't drink in the house, things like that, to try and stop that kind of repetitive behaviour. So my depression was probably at its peak, at its worst, in my mid to late teens into my 20s. Over the past couple of decades, it's been okay. I generally, through a lot of work, a lot of hard work, a lot of therapy, a lot of tools that I have in my little toolkit, and I can do another video about all the tools that I use to help myself maintain an equilibrium with depression, chronic depression. I can do that video if you'd like. Leave me a comment if you would like me to do that video, and I would be more than happy to share. But from a lot of work I've managed to stabilise, but over the past couple of months, especially the past few weeks, I have felt very low. And you may have noticed from my blog posts and from here on YouTube, I'm not quite as regular and consistent in my posting of videos as I usually am. I will find that I'm skipping weeks or skipping days, leaving recording, leaving writing till the last minute, and then just being like, oh, can't be bothered. It's not like me. I'm somebody who loves to be busy, and I love to do things and learn and grow. I talk about this continuously, and so this behaviour is not normal to me. And that's the first indicator to me that something's going on. And I spoke to my husband and I was like, what do you think's going on? Do I seem strange or different? And he said, you seem a bit down. And we talked about it a little bit. He said, I'll have to tell you some jokes. And he's only joking, don't worry, he's very supportive. And we talked about it, and if it's no better in a few weeks, then we will go to the doctors to see if they want to change around my medication or review my dosages, that kind of thing. But right now, for today, I want to talk about how I'm coping with this flare, because generally speaking, my flares don't get as bad as they used to, thankfully, touching all the wood in my vicinity right now, because hello, don't want to go there again. Yeah, I wanted to talk about how I cope with it, And maybe incorporating just some of these things will help you. I hope it will. I hope it will. So let's get to it. So the first thing I would say is go with it. Now, this does not mean giving in to it and wallowing in bed. It might mean staying in bed a bit later in the morning. It might mean doing things like not forcing yourself to work. Like, I haven't been doing videos. Like, if I'd been forcing myself, my content would have not been good, and you would have seen that it was forced. Today I'm starting to feel a little bit better. I'm not going to jinx myself, but I felt a little bit better, and I was really excited to record this video. I was actually going to record on something else, and I thought, why not take this opportunity to help other people? And that's why I've got this channel. So I hope this helps. But it's basically listening to what you need. And I use this with my chronic illness. So basically, if my body is screaming at me to have a nap, go and have a nap. If my body needs me to stretch or do a little bit of exercise or a bit of yoga, do it. If I need to drink more water, do it. You know, listen to what your body needs. I think a lot of the time we're programmed to do things on a certain schedule. And one of the few good things of being not well enough or not able enough to work is that I can do that. I realise it's a privileged place to be, and I'm very grateful for that I can listen to my body. So if you're able to, go with it. If you need to sleep a bit more, do it. And that's what it's about. It's about trying to heal, not staying in that protective, cosy, comfortable place that depression can feel like. People don't talk about that enough, I think. The fact that it feels cozy and comfortable to be in that little depression bubble sometimes. And that's why people stay there, because it lies to you and says that you're safe there and everything will be okay. Go with it. Give yourself a time limit. Okay, I'm gonna give in to you for a week, and then start clawing your way out. It does quite feel like I'm clawing my way out. But yeah, give yourself some time to go with it and to let it do what it needs to do. Depression is telling you something for a reason. I always believe that our bodies tell us things for a reason. Yeah, give your body what it needs, but give it a time limit. The next thing I would say is meditate. Now, I will state here and now that when I first got sick, a therapist said to me, why don't you meditate? So I sat there with nothing, and just sat there with like my phone with a timer on it. I was just like, right, I'm going to spend 10 minutes just sat here, and it did nothing. And that's because there are millions of different ways of meditating. For me, I love to meditate to guided meditations. I use the Insight Timer. I'll leave a link down below. I'm not being sponsored by them, don't work with them, they don't know I exist. But I find that they have such a great, massive library, and it's free. So big bonus there. But it's a free library, and there are lots of different types. There are types that are just music. There is a timer on there. So if you like silent meditation, you have that option. The type I like are guided, and there are so many on there for depression. Like, so many on there, and some are just somebody talking you through a healing garden, or, you know, it's like they're all so different. So go and give a few things a try. Don't just think, well, I tried it once for 10 minutes and it didn't work. Try different types and see what works for you. Meditation isn't for everyone is a bit of a misconception. I think people just don't understand that there are lots of different types. Like, you can do walking meditations where people are talking in your ears and you go for a walk and you meditate that way, or you can meditate while you eat. It's a whole thing. So go and do some research, try some different ways. Meditation is a big lifesaver for me. If I'm really struggling, I do a type that's called a Yoga Nidra, and basically you just lie on your back with a blanket on you and a pillow under your head. You can be in bed if you need to be, and they usually last about an hour. And you just lie there and they tell you a story, or they talk you through things. Someone's just breathing. It's kind of like, you know, AMSR? AMSR, that's right, isn't it? There's a whole thing on YouTube. So it's kind of like that kind of thing, like just talking to you, and it's very relaxing. And you don't feel like you're meditating, you just feel like you're having somebody tell you a really nice story. So yoga nidra, if that sounds nice to you, but find what works. There are so many different kinds. Meditation for me is a big game changer. Being mindful, being in this moment all the time is difficult, but I try and do it. There are times when my imagination will take over, or I'll start catastrophizing. I can never say that word. Or I will start having negative thoughts, that kind of thing. Mindfulness brings me back to the moment, and I have spoken about this a lot on my blog and in other videos. So if you're interested in learning more about that, there are links to my blog down below. The next thing is hygiene. It's the first thing that I usually notice is I will stop brushing my teeth when my depression's bad, and I'll stop. Like, I'll get to the evening, I'll just be like, what's the point in washing my face? I washed it this morning, I haven't been anywhere, I haven't done anything. There's no point, I'm not going to bother. And then I get up the next morning, I'm just like, well, you know what I mean? Like, those thoughts start creeping in. It's one of the first things that I notice. So when I start to notice, there's a few things that I do. One is don't force myself to do anything that makes me feel really uncomfortable. So sometimes it's like, I don't want to have a shower. Okay, if you can't have a shower, why not just wash your face? And maybe I can't face washing my face. Oh my God. Maybe I can't wash my face and then do the whole, moisturizer and everything. That just seems like a big hill above me. Can I just wash my face and get the dirt off my face? So it's making it into a little step. Like, I can't manage this, but I can manage this. And building it up each day until you are once again taking care of yourself. The next thing is gentle exercise. Now, gentle exercise for me is very difficult. I try and do a little bit every day. Chronic illness or low impact exercise, or my physical therapy that my physio gave me. But when I'm depressed, I don't want to be doing all that. What about just getting outside and walking down through your garden if you have a garden? Or what about just walking around your living room a couple of times? Or, do you know what I mean? Just find something that you can manage, a little bit of something. I think it's so important sometimes to get a little bit of exercise, because just lying on the sofa watching Netflix feels so nice. It feels so good, but it's not good for you. It's not going to help you get out of that low place. So it might even be that every now, if you're binge watching a program, if it's an hour long program, pause it in between, you just stand up and have a stretch and walk around the room, and then come back, lie back down and carry on to the next thing. It can be something as simple as that, but just moving your body just a little bit is going to help so much. Next thing is get into nature. Now, this is not always possible. I'm lucky with where I live. I live very close to a lot of greenery, and so just going out into my garden or going out the front can help me to get a little bit of exercise and feel a little bit more human, and that's a really good thing. Doing walking meditations, that sort of thing, are really great ways. But like I talked about on a video recently, if you can just stick your head out of the window and get some fresh air in your lungs, if that's the most you can do it. It will help. And then lastly, it's don't push that feeling away. I think too much we try and put this false positivity on and try and force ourselves to feel good. It's not coming from a genuine place. We need to try and understand why we feel that way, and it could be that we need therapy to get to that point. But whatever it takes, just try and think, what triggered this? What made this start? And then from there, try and find ways to work your way out of it. Not everybody can afford therapy, and I completely understand that. I'm lucky, I get it now and again. If I have a very bad period, I get it on the NHS, which is free, but it doesn't usually last a very long time, so I try and hold on to those tools they give me with both hands, just like, oh, teach me everything while I got you. So it's very difficult, but I think it's very important to try and understand it and not try and push it away and be this positive person that you feel like you should be. but instead try and just be genuinely who you are. I really hope that this video helps you a little bit. If it does, definitely let me know down below. If you have any tips or tricks that would help anybody else going through a depression flare, definitely leave them down in the comments. I love talking to all of you. I definitely see this as a community where we help one another. It's not just me talking at you, and I can always use some more tools in my toolkit. So definitely leave me a comment right down there to let me know that you enjoyed this video, and to let me know that you have some ideas or theories or thoughts on what I've been talking about. While you're down there, why not leave me a cheeky little like, so I know you enjoyed this video and so more people will get to see this video. It also helps me to know that you got something out of it and enjoyed it, so that would be lovely to see and hear. So let me know. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe button if you're not already part of the Famalam. I am trying to grow this channel. I would love to get to 1,000 subscribers. I would love to see more people added into the family. I know so many people are watching my videos, but they are not subscribed. If you have an account, just hit that subscribe button, ring that little bell, then you will always know when I upload. I'm usually here Mondays and Fridays, my health permitting. I really do try my very, very best, and I promise to try and be here more consistently as we go forwards. I hope that you're all staying safe. I hope that you're having a really lovely day today. I hope you're having a great week, and I will see you next time. Bye. Mwah.